Welcome back, boys and girls. And today we're going to talk about the most important hunting equipment and my favorite hunting equipment. Yes, it's the hunting weapon. But today we're going to talk about the rifles. Now, there are many different types of hunting rifles, but today I'm going to be talking about only ones that I think is a mainstream and is the best choice for the beginners. And we have lever action, semi-automatic, and bolt action. And they all have different purpose and they all have different conveniences. So let's talk about it. Even in semi-automatic rifles, there are many different kinds. And I could already talk to you about the ones that I have. And you can actually see this on my reviews. But first in the bottom, we have Browning BAR in 308. That magazine holds 4 rounds. Now the Browning actually makes long action semi-automatics, which is kind of rare. And they make it all the way up to Magnum class. And Magnum semi-automatics, they hold 3 rounds in the magazine. And then we have Remington 7400. That magazine holds 4 rounds. This is also in 308. But you could get aftermarket 10 round magazine for it. And we have AR-10 platform. I have in 6.5 Creedmoor, 308, 338 Federal, and in AR-15 platform I have 450 Bushmaster. And as you know, magazine-wise, you could get it all the way up to like 30 rounds, so that's plenty. But they do have pros and cons, so let's talk about them. Semi-automatic means you're gonna have the fastest follow-up shots without taking your eye off the deer that you're aiming for. But you gotta have your power at a low magnification. You don't want to have, I've seen a lot of hunters who have their magnification like in 12 and they see deer in 30, 40 yards, and that's not a way to go. So in most cases when I'm hunting, I have my power down to 5 or 6, and in early season I even have power down to 3. So if I'm shooting, I could see what I'm shooting at and I could see their reaction as well. Now hunt is over and you gotta come down from your tree stand. Never climb down your tree stand with a loaded rifle. That's no. So this is a tip. First thing you do, you gotta take the magazine out, pull it out or pop it out in Browning. And then if you just unchamber, you're gonna have your live ammunition flying off from the tree stand and you might never find it. So what you wanna do is you wanna turn your rifle like this and then have the chamber facing your stomach and then pull it. That way you're gonna have the live ammo fall on your lap and you can just pick it up. And then you wanna put ammunition back into your magazine and then climb down with empty chamber. That way it's safer, and on your way out, if you see a deer, you could quickly rechamber it and shoot a deer. I did that once, and believe it or not, I made a hot shot.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
I'm kind of surprised. You were so quick in chambering empty
Right.
chamber. Right.
Everything just happened like in one
Right.
motion.
I didn't expect that.
Release, safety, up, pull. And it was like in what, 1 or 2 seconds.
Good job, David.
Thank God. Semi-automatic is definitely more fun to shoot at the target range, and it looks bad. With a semi-automatic rifle, when you fire, the chamber automatically opens and closes. So this pushes back and goes forward, meaning you're gonna have less felt recoil on your shoulder. Now let's talk about the negative side of semi-automatic. Now let's say you got up early in the morning, you get up on your tree stand, you're sitting there, and then you have to load your rifle, and then you have to do this. It's loud. It's ringing in my ear now. And you're thinking, man, I just struck all the deer. Well, that could be a little bit, iffy. So when I used the semi-automatic rifles, that's when I was using my climbing tree stand. And climbing up the tree, I've already made a bunch of noise, so I didn't mind using a semi-automatic. So as soon as I go up there and when I'm settled, first thing that I do is I load my rifle, put in the safety, and then that way I make the noise at once. And then trust me, about 30 minutes later, when you sit there long enough, like 30 minutes later, everything calms down and then animals start moving again. So don't be too afraid. Now, one advantage that you have with AR platform is that when you load it in the morning, you could gently put the action and just release it very slowly. And then at the end, just use the forward assist to take it in all the way. It's much quieter and you feel much better. Another great benefit of AR platform is that anybody could disassemble it really easy and give it a good clean. Compared to other semi-automatics, you really can't disassemble them. Now, if you're gonna shoot a lot, and if you're gonna shoot a lot of cheap ammos and be a lot of gunky side, it's better to go with AR platform compared to other semi-auto. In general, semi-automatic rifles are a little bit less accurate than bolt action. So semi-automatic within 300 yards, fine, but if you want to shoot something beyond 300 yards, I would recommend go with bolt action unless you're shooting long range setups, AR tank platform like this. This you could shoot out to 900 yards, that's fine. I've seen people do it with 6.5 Claymore. Only thing is, this long range AR platform, they can be quite heavy. In general, standard AR platform has the heaviest trigger pull, but it's really easy to replace the trigger assembly. Just pop those two pin out and you could replace the whole assembly. I did mine. It only cost me about 65 bucks and it's really decent. Now if you want to get a really sensitive one, you gotta spend a couple $100. Now again, the hunt is over and you gotta empty your chamber. Now this is where the AR platform gets a little tricky because the discharging handle here is, you gotta pull so far back, you can't really do this and pull back, you can't. So what I do is I take the magazine out first, and then just have the gun pointing up to the sky, have the chamber facing you, and then pull it down like this. And then you're gonna have the live ammunition fall in your lap, and then put it back in your magazine, and climb down the tree with empty chamber, and you'll be good. I can't really speak for the other semi-automatic rifles, but the ones that I have no problem shooting under 1-inch sub MOA at 100 yards. And at the bottom, there's Browning BAR, and the retail price is around $1,200. And next up there, that's in 308, and up there there's Remington 7400. That's also in 308. That you could probably get it for around $500, but I don't think they make this model anymore. They make some other models. And then DPMS, I think AR platform DPMS are great. That's 308, that's 338. And they usually go anywhere between about 800 to 1200 or so. And then up there, there's Leaf-Free Armory. That's around like 1400. And I think they're all decent price. Now, especially for the AR platform, you could buy much more expensive ones that goes over like 3500. Once there's better proven rifles. And I don't think we really need a better proven rifles for a hunting situation. But again, this is very accurate, very functional, and I had great lucks with them. In my opinion, if you're shooting under 300 yards, and if you want to have fast follow-up shots without taking your eye off the target, something that is really light, balances really well, I have to say, go with the Browning BAR. You will fall in love with it. I did. And it's a little pricey, but you really get what you pay for.